Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be going over the least expensive brand new Ram that you can pick up off of the lot today, and yeah, this will be a pretty interesting video. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this truck. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you need any help, just ask for Ryan. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. And this also has a 3.92 axle ratio. Before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. First off, with this Warlock package, we have this decal front and center there on the hood, and then notice the hood kind of like slowly slopes down as you go towards either side. Now, taking a peek here at the front end, you guys can see we've got the grille from the Rebel. We also have the bumper from the last generation Rebel. It just looks a little bit different in certain parts because you don't have like the fog lights, for example. And then we actually have the headlights as well from the Rebel with the little LED turn signal there. And you know, when you put it all together, it's definitely a good looking truck from the front end. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 265/70/17 in the front and over in the rear as well. And so yeah, if you're familiar with the last generation Rebel, then you know this is the tire and wheel setup from the Rebel. It borrows a lot of stuff from the Rebel, okay people? We've got these cool fender flares that come with this truck. Notice Hemi 5.7 badge and then our Ram 1500 Classic badge as well. And then if we look at the side profile of this truck, it's pretty cool looking. This is the quad cab if you guys are wondering. And then notice we got our Warlock logo there on the back end. Here's our key fob with the truck, pretty normal. It's got the Ram logo there. We've got our unlock and our lock function. It's so weird to see the old Mercedes key fob still in use today. Tailgate's pretty easy to open. We have 1,293 pounds of payload capacity with this truck, and it has a 6.5 foot bed. No bed liner, but it's easy to add on after the fact. Well, that was easy. We've got these LED taillights here with this package. Notice all of the badging is blacked out. And then you guys can see here with the parking sensors in the bumper, and then the exhaust tips also blacked out. We've got about 10,000 pounds of towing capacity roughly. And yeah, I think this is a good looking truck when it comes to the outside. Now, being the quad cab, we're gonna have a pretty basic door panel here with just a lot of plastic, but at least get a window control and a pretty nice looking door handle. As for the seats, these are the seats taken out of the new Bighorn actually, so really nice cloth seats. Definitely makes the interior feel a little bit more premium. Do have some storage underneath the seat as well. When it comes to legroom, it's kind of cramped. Headroom, on the other hand, is quite a bit better. The front door panel is definitely quite a bit nicer. You have a nice like insert right there, and then you got padding where you're gonna rest your arm. All of our window controls, notice the front two are automatic. Got your mirror adjustments, and then there's a quick look at the mirrors. Front seats are just like the rear, so again, new Bighorn style seats. Definitely like the look of them, and they are power adjustable. Nothing too fancy with the pedal layout, and then you guys can see here for the cargo light, and then we just have our regular light control right there. Now with the steering wheel, it's actually got pretty decent material use around. Like, it's not like super high end, but it's actually like soft to the touch, if that makes sense. We've got our controls for cruise control, your gear limiter, and we got controls for the center stack, voice command, phone controls. There are no radio controls in the back, and then turn signal, windshield wiper stock. As for the center gauge cluster, you guys can see analog gauges on either side, and then with the rest of this center, it's got like a little screen that looks like it has pixels from like 1980, but you know, it gets the job done. Now we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution is actually pretty decent. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can probably faintly see the analog controls on the outside, like your little volume control and then control to like change your radio stations. The screen itself is pretty small, and it's a basic screen where you can pair your phone to it, or you can just use the radio if you want. Single zone climate system, and then down below we've got this for the parking sensors, turn them off, your tow haul mode, and then the stability control to turn that off. We've got our dial shifter here for the 8-speed automatic transmission, and just down below it, we've got this for your 2-wheel drive, your 4-wheel low, and then your 4-wheel lock, which is like your 4-wheel high, basically. Very hard to see, but we do have some 12-volt charging down below, and then we've got some storage on top of that. We have the bench seat configuration with some USBs and an auxiliary there, and yeah, nice cloth seat, and then lifting it all the way up, we got even more storage underneath. We got Ram's double glove box here, and man, it's been quite some time since I've seen this version of it, but it's practical. And then we do have a manual mirror dimmer, and the rear glass is fixed. So here's our window sticker for this Warlock. You guys can see base MSRP $44,540. Now again, this engine is a little bit of an upgrade. If I did a V6 truck, I would be a little bit less money than what we are going to be with this truck. But anyways, total MSRP after all options on this truck, $51,410. This does have the 32-gallon fuel tank if you guys are running. 5 years, 60,000 mile on the powertrain, and then 3 year, 36,000 mile on the basic. If I did the V6, I would be around like $47,000 roughly. I think that's what they have, like a V6 one over there. It's like $47,000. Anyways, let's drive this somethings up. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So, setting off in this Ram 1500 Warlock, aka what you can buy for $50,000 if you want a Ram truck. So, first off, when it comes to ride quality, this isn't as good as the new 5th generation Ram, but it's still pretty solid because this does utilize coil suspension in the back end, and you still have a solid rear axle though, independent front suspension. But yeah, the coil suspension helps out the ride quality quite a bit. It's not as refined as the new Ram 1500, but still good. The one thing I will say is I do like the steering of this. It kind of it's not as light and direct as the new Ram 1500, but it's, I don't know, it has this nice feel about it. Kind of has more of like an old school truck feel, which, you know, sometimes I definitely appreciate. Now, aside from that, I definitely like having the more aggressive tires. I think that helps out quite a bit with the ride quality. And then, you know, obviously it's the practicality when it comes to off-roading, where you know you can make it to a place, you don't have to stress out too much. And then, you know, other stuff, seat comfort's really good. So these, like I said, are the seats out of the Bighorn. That is a cool looking Explorer. Anyways, these are the seats out of the Bighorn, and so they're the best cloth seats in a, you know, entry-level full-size truck. Like, there is nothing else that really compares to these seats. Ford seats just, yeah, definitely lag behind, and then same thing with Chevy seats. So they need to definitely take some notes from Ram, and that's one of the big benefits of the Warlock, is that you actually do get these really nice cloth seats. Now with that 392 axle ratio, that should punch quite a bit. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just going partial throttle, but you know, it still punches. We'll get our full-blown acceleration in just a moment. Just a tree branch in the middle of the road. That was crazy. Good thing I avoided that. This transmission isn't as refined as the new one too. That's interesting. It's louder though. Wow, that's quick. It's definitely louder than the new version, but yeah, the transmission just seems like a little bit clunkier, if that makes sense. I know I'm comparing this to the new one a lot, but I review so many vehicles, I have to, it's just what happens in my mind. But anyways, with the Warlock, I mean, it's a good pickup truck for doing pickup truck things, right? This 5.7 Hemi is reliable. It can tow a decent amount. It's got decent payload. Like, it's got everything you want. And, you know, if you want slightly better fuel economy, you can go for the V6. But I recommend, if you got the extra money, go for the Hemi. Always go for the Hemi. It's always worth it. But yeah, it's crazy to see what the market's come to, because, like, I always feel like I feel like I've become a boomer now, because I'm always like, back in my day. But I mean, back in my day was only like 5 or 6 years ago. You could buy a Laramie for $50,000. But now, like, it buys you a base model truck. Like, this is how much truck prices have increased over the last, you know, 5-6 years. And most of it's been, frankly, over the last, like, 2 years. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice truck, but it's just crazy. I mean, I just keep thinking to myself, like, when someone comes into a dealership, like a Ram dealership, and they haven't purchased a vehicle since like 2016, 2017, they are going to be in for the biggest sticker shock of their entire life. They're just going to like probably have like a heart attack in the lot, because they're going to be like, I paid $30,000 for my truck, and now you're telling me I gotta pay $60,000. So let me know what you guys think about this Warlock package, and let me know what you think about these prices that we have in today's world. And again, this is a 2022. We'll see what the prices are in 2023. And guess what? The Classic Edition is still going to exist in 2023, because at this rate, Ram is going to continue to sell this old body style truck forever. I mean, it's so crazy. Like, we're getting to the point where the 5th generation Ram 1500 is probably going to be up for a heavy refresh or potentially a full-on redesign soon, and they're still selling the 4th gen. Like, no other why is Ram doing this? Well, I mean, we know why they're doing it. It's because it's helping them sell more trucks, but it's so weird. That's all. That's because something's up with our video on this Warlock. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this truck. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see ya.